The review is here. Wow, it seems like absolutely forever ago that I did my first initial impressions video of this thing, but it is finally time to do the review, right? I've had a great time testing this, and now that it's finally the winter season, the weather is cold, I can finally wear this stuff, and I feel that it is time to put out the review of this fragrance. Of course, this is 1821 Man-Made Sweet Tobacco Spirits. Very, very long and confusing name, I know, but the fragrance itself is amazing. You know how much I've hyped up this stuff in my initial impressions video. I said I absolutely loved it, and since then it has definitely got on this hype train, right? A lot of reviewers have done reviews on this, and it seems to have a very, very good reputation in the community, and now I'm finally here to give my spin on this fragrance. Now, of course, this was released actually in 2016. A lot of people don't know that. This was released this year, in fact. It's classified as an Oriental Vanilla with main accords of vanilla, sweet, wine, woody, and aromatic. Okay, now let's go with the note breakdown. Now, 1821 Man-Made doesn't really have the typical note pyramid, rather it just has a list of notes. This has citruses, saffron, tonka, vanilla, manuka honey, fruits, red wine, musk, and woods. So definitely a pretty good hefty note breakdown in this one, and right away, this is quite similar to some other legendary wintertime fragrances. Fragrances like Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, by Killian's Back to Black, even a little bit of Pure Havana, this honey tobacco direction. And I actually, funny story, came across this in search of my ultimate winter fragrance, and I came across this one. I said, you know what, let me give it a try. Oof, I'm so glad I did, because this is awesome. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this thing is a honey bomb. The best, most realistic, wet honey that I've ever smelled in my life. That's mainly what you're gonna get for the entire life of this fragrance. It's just a really nice, golden, sticky honey, but it almost has this burnt quality in the background, which there is no tobacco listed, but this fragrance is supposed to give off a tobacco vibe with all the notes kind of combining to make that one tobacco reminiscent scent. But honey is mainly what you're gonna get from this, and it's a, like I said, a wet honey with that wine, a little bit of a booziness up top. You can take a look at my first impressions, and I was just blown away by this amazing honey note in the opening. Then you get this darkness from like this little bit of a woodiness that creeps in, and then in the dry down, the tonka and vanilla really come out. It turns a little bit powdery, and the honey just really overtones everything so beautifully. Overall, I find this fragrance to be quite linear. Definitely what you spray on for the most part is what you're gonna get throughout the entire life of the fragrance. Like I said, this thing is just a honey lover's dream. It is very sweet, definitely sweet, very cozy, but it's masculine, which is really nice because I feel like, let's say, by Killian Back to Black, even some people say Pure Havana is still a little bit feminine with this cherry kind of a fruity vibe. This does not have any of that, guys. This is really a man's fragrance. Something about it, this burnt quality in here, just boom, there's some masculinity in here. It's really, really nice, and that's why I also love it. In terms of smell, this is very natural and very well blended in my opinion. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5 points, but that's an amazing rating for this type of fragrance. Now let's go into the performance. Now, I have owned some pretty strong fragrances in my day. I'm talking about these Tom Ford private blend collections, various fragrances from Amouage, but never in my life, have I quite owned a fragrance that was this beastly strong. I'm gonna tell you a little story. In my first impressions video, when I sprayed this thing on my hand, and also when I have been wearing it, I wore it on my hand, lasted me the rest of that entire day, took a shower, went to bed, woke up, shower, and lasted me the entire next day through hand washings and all. This thing lasted 2 days on my skin. I am not joking. I am not kidding whatsoever. This thing is the best, longest lasting fragrance by far in my collection. Crushes Tobacco Vanille, crushes any other fragrance that I've ever tried in my life in terms of sheer longevity and how long this thing lasts. Drop my jaw. Longevity is 24 hours plus, easily, boom, you can stamp that right now. 24 hours plus, this will last you. And projection, this thing will absolutely fill a room. It will fill a freaking building. I'm not joking. This stuff is so strong, straight out of the bottle. I don't even know what concentration it is. It says the perfume, it has to be some kind of crazy extracted parfum or something because it's so strong, beastly sillage. So give this thing some room when you're wearing it, but amazing performance. If I could give it 100 out of 5 points, I definitely would. But I'm gonna give it a perfect 5 out of 5. The strongest fragrance that I own by a long shot. Now let's talk about the versatility. The versatility is going to take a little bit of a hit because, like I said, it is so strong. I feel like it's only applicable for the very coldest weather. Definitely wintertime in my opinion, nighttime. And like I said, give this fragrance room to kind of do its thing. You know, do not spray this thing and get into like a small car with a bunch of other people. Don't spray this thing in like a very close encounter environment unless it's been on for a long time. But in that initial opening, man, it is so strong. Wear this thing outdoors or in a huge space. So like I said, give this thing room to breathe and that will be fine. So wintertime definitely has, like I said, a very cozy, warm vibe. As far as occasions, outdoors, night out on the town. As long as it's super cold out and it's outdoors, this is the perfect fragrance for that. Also could work on a date if you have sprayed it on for about 12 hours. Once you get to that dry down, it gets very nice, a little bit closer to the skin, not as beastly. So then, bam, could work great for a date. And those are pretty much all the occasions that I see 1821 working great for. So the versatility, I'm gonna score this a 2 out of 5 points. Definitely not its strongest category, but if you're looking for a great winter fragrance and your ultimate winter fragrance like I was, I'm so happy I came across this thing. This thing just does the trick. Okay, now let's go with the compliment factor. This is definitely another high point of this fragrance. Wow, have I gotten some compliments. This is one of my favorite head turner fragrances because it is so strong. This thing just commands attention whenever you walk into the room because it just, boom, gets to the people's noses. Will really turn some heads with this one. I've always gotten noticed whenever I've worn this. It smells really, really great in the air, especially if you're standing 5 to 10 feet away. Like I said, this thing has no problem with the projection, so that people can definitely smell it around you. A lady pleaser, that's key with this one. Like I said, the honey in here you think isn't a masculine note, but it does it so nicely. It has, like I said, this burnt quality in there that just gives this really nice masculine, cozy vibe. So good with the ladies, very highly appreciated, which I also appreciate that. So with the compliments, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. This was an honorable mention on my most complimented list, but I finally gotten some more testings out of this, and like I say, it is very rapidly growing as one of my best compliment gators, especially for the winter seasons. Okay, now let's go to the value category. I purchased this thing back in April when it was still $40, and you can pretty readily find it. However, since then it has been hyped up a lot by myself and by many others, and the price has gone up, guys. I've seen this thing for $80. It's about the cheapest you can get it, and it's pretty hard to find as well. However, this is still, even at $80, is a great bang for the buck. I'm gonna give the bang for a buck, the value factor, a 5 out of 5 easily. This made my number 2 spot on my top 10 bang for buck fragrances for a reason. I would even pay $150 for this fragrance, so this is niche level quality, hands down, niche level performance. I think that $50 that I paid for it, the $40 that I paid for it was phenomenal. Even $80 is still a great deal, so get your hands on this while you still can. So Asian sprays, 1 spray. Trust me, 1 spray. I'm just gonna say that right now. That's all you need with this fragrance, and this definitely leans a little bit more mature. I would say 25 plus, definitely with that. So we're at the end of this review where I always, of course, will rate my fragrances on a scale from 1 to 10 of how much I like them. You already guessed it, of course. I'm gonna give this thing a perfect 10 out of 10. It is my ultimate winter fragrance, in my opinion. I'm so glad, I'm so happy and ecstatic that I found this thing, that I stumbled across this, and it's one of my best purchases of this year. Just think about it. This thing smells amazing. It is the strongest, longest lasting fragrance that I own. Gets compliments like nobody's business. Maybe it's not great for every season, but for the wintertime, it is awesome. And it's an absolutely stellar value. So I'm very happy with this purchase, guys. Go check out 1821 Man-Made if you haven't. I know it's gotten quite a bit of buzz as of recently, so if you haven't heard about it, go check this stuff out. I think it's definitely worth a purchase, and buy it right now if you still can, because you never know when this thing could be discontinued just like that, and you wouldn't have a bottle of it. I'm very happy with this bottle right here, so go check out 1821 Man-Made Sweet Tobacco Spirits. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Thanks for tuning into this review. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you got all my new reviews that are coming out this month and in the future. And have a nice day. See you later.